Okay, one of the things we need to do now to our game, once you have it all set up, is to actually change it into platform view. Now, if we look at a particular level, if we're going to play the game, I'll get this started, you can see that it's not that challenging because we can actually see everything. We can see the whole level. And sometimes you may want this in a particular game, but to add challenge, what we normally do in platform games is only make a small window or a small portion of the game actually available for the viewer to see, and this is called the viewport. Now I'm going to stop this because the owl is going to get me. And if I look just at the room, what you need to imagine doing is blocking off just a certain portion of the actual level, and I mean blocking off most of the actual level and just allowing a small viewport window. So we only want to allow about 1/4 of the actual room to be shown at any single time. And that way the user has to go through your game a little bit more blindly and feel their way through the levels. And that's called a viewport. So when we're in Game Maker, we have to open each room, and you do need to do this for every level. And under the Views tab, you need to tick Enable the use of views. Then you want to click Visible when the room starts. And what we want to do is then set how much is visible when the room starts. So in ours, we're going to have the width and the height to 320 by 240. .320 by 240 with a Y value of, oh sorry, put that in the wrong spot, 320 by 240, and we want, I keep typing in the wrong spot. Click over here. We want to start at X0 and Y 240. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to come down to Y, if you can see my Y changing. My X is at 0 and my Y, I'm going to move it down, is at 240. So that basically gives you an idea of where the view is going to be. And you can actually see an outline. It'd probably be easier if I turned off the grid view. And then you can see where that viewport is. So when we start the room, that's all the portion of the room that the user is going to be able to see. Then the other thing we want to do, so our real height is 640 by 480, but we're only seeing that amount of it. So what it does is it takes this size and then it will blow that up into 640 by 480. That has the effect of making your game look a bit more pixelated, but because this is a platform game and platform games tend to look a bit pixely, that's okay. Now, we need the viewport to follow around one object. So since our Kiwi is the player, basically the thing we're moving around, we have it follow the object Kiwi. And we're going to set the horizontal and vertical borders to 128 and 128 with a speed of 4. So what we do here is this, when we set that with the horizontal and vertical borders, this will stop the gameplay getting too close to the edge of the view so that it doesn't just go right to the edge, so that there's still some space around the Kiwi. And then that would be unfairly hiding any obstacles that are just out of view. So basically it creates a bit of padding. And then also the speed of it moving is 4. If it was really fast, it would sort of make you feel a bit sick. So we'll set it at 4. So now, if we try that, you notice that you only see part of the view. I can hear my owl, but I don't know where he's coming from, which makes it a little bit more tricky for me to try to avoid him. I also don't know where all the platforms are, and I don't know where the worms are. So it does add an element of difficulty to the game. So when you're designing your own game, you can design the room to be really long, for example, or really high, and you only let the user see a portion of the view at a time, so they don't know how high it is or how long. Here we've constrained ours to 640 by 480, but we could make our actual room much larger than 640 by 480. And then just have the port on the screen be the size of a normal screen, and that way the user has a longer room or a taller room, for example, if you wanted more climbing. So use of viewports is really, I think, essential if you're trying to add some more difficulty to your platform game.